Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day. Debbie's back to her usual self. She's out running some errands right now. She got up early, I think 5:30 or so this morning, and kind of started her chores and then hit the road. She's going to make the post office run today. I just finished feeding the barn cats, and I think we've got one item that's sold in the store overnight. It was the Sentinel Radio that we bought from that $48 auction pickup that we had. So we're well past the $48, and we're all in the profit at this point. In the meantime, I'm going to get some coffee in me, and we're going to start this day. Alright, so the Sentinel Radio just sold. Now, I'm keeping a running tally. If you remember off that $48 sale, we started in the red here at 48 bucks. So the Sentinel Radio goes here on my board, just so I can keep track. $48. Oh no, it didn't sell for $48. It sold for $35. $48 is our number up there. $35. All right, and that brings us in the profit zone.
It's a profit deal. It takes the pressure off. Of
$44.99 so far. So we made our original 48 back, and we're currently at $44.99. Now, if you remember in the video when I broke things out and what their values were, and I said I was underestimating things, I think I might have overestimated on the radio. The reason why is because it is, I think I had it in at 70 bucks or something like that. Obviously we took 35. But I weigh a couple things in. I'm in the business to sell stuff, right? I'm not in the business to hoard things and keep them on my shelf forever. I think it was worth 70, and it probably is. Somebody could bought that for 35 and turn around and sell it for 70. But the fact of the matter is, I made my money back here, and it is sitting on the shelf. Somebody made me an offer for $35, and I went, what the heck? Let's get it out of the store, because I've got other things sitting in here that needs to be put in the store. So, got to make room for inventory, just quite frankly. Now, I'm not going to get ridiculous on it.
Don't be ridiculous.
Go underwater or anything like that. But we are in a profit, so that's a good thing. Let's find that radio. Well, the radio is not going to be that hard to find. It is sitting right up here. This guy. Our next job is to get that in the box and get it ready so Debbie can take it to the post office. All right, so one of the first things we like to do is get our electronics enclosed in some kind of protection from the elements. So we'll see if this plastic bag is big enough to put it in. I think it is, so we'll just walk this in like this. There we go. And get the power cord in there. And then we'll get that all sealed up.
Well, that seals it.
That'll protect it a little bit from any moisture that it may encounter on the way. So we got that done. And we have a box ready for it, and it's sitting up here, but I want to get it wrapped in some bubble wrap.
The parcels get wrapped in bubble wrap to protect them.
And this bubble wrap has been through the shredder. It's my non-perf bubble wrap that I'm trying to use up because I'm tired of, I don't like bubble wrap without perfs. And this is the bubble wrap that feels like tissue paper as well. So there's a lot about this bubble wrap that I just don't like. But I gotta use it. I can't just throw it away. As you'll find, I'm a bit frugal, trying to make some money on this stuff, and I can't just throw away perfectly good bubble wrap. Well, somewhat good bubble wrap, because it doesn't have perps and perps. It doesn't have perfs.
Hey Riggs, who's the perp?
And this is how the bubble wrap got mangled before, is that I use a knife on it.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
I think what we'll do is fully wrap this end. I didn't need all that bubble wrap I just cut off. Fully wrap that end. was what we got. Now we'll take this end and just take a little bit of what we cut off there. And we'll cover up this end with that.
Well, I could make a cap, or a brooch, or pterodactyl.
Okay, we've got the radio wrapped up in some bubble wrap on top of all that protective plastic that we put around it. Now we're going to drop it in this box. I already put some padding down on the bottom of the box. And now what we're going to do is just take some paper. I think I've got some left up here from before. And we're going to stuff some paper down around the edges just to keep it from rattling around. I think that'll do us. And then we'll put a thank you card on top.
Thank you.
So this Sentinel Radio is going out to Pete in Ridgefield, Connecticut. So thanks, Pete, for buying the radio. And by the way, Pete, you get 35% off when you come back to the store. I'm going to need more paper than that.
Tell the foreman to buy more paper.
And there we go. That should hold things in there tight for Pete. And get that Sentinel Radio out to where it has a new home. Now I got to tell you, the radio, when we tested it, another reason why I came down a little bit on the price, it powers on just fine, and it looks like the tubes power up. We couldn't pick up any radio stations with it. It had a little hum to it, so I think there might have been a grounding issue with it, or something wrong with the actual crystals in the set. So typically what happens with our antique radios is they go to a home where somebody's going to put them on a shelf and they just sit as display items, or they go to someone that's going to repair them and then they sell them again for a higher value. We're going to weigh this and get it on the pile that needs to go to the post office. So, different shirt, different hat, different day. Bright and early in the morning, going to go out and feed the barn cats. Yesterday was a long day, but a short day for you guys. That's why we're doing a twofer on this video.
Kind of a taco twofer thing.
We got just bogged down with all kinds of stuff. Mostly those magazines. Gosh, what do you do when you accidentally buy a bunch of magazines in an auction? I guess you could drive by the dumpster and throw them all away.
Is the lady of the house in? I'm selling magazines.
The time invested. We went through all the magazines. So I first looked at them as which magazines are important. And boy, you know, when you look at, and we had Ebony, Essence, and People, Us Weekly, InTouch, all those celebrity magazines, right? And then I thought, well, let's organize them by date, and maybe we can sell them in bulk by date or in groups by date. Well, we didn't have everything, you know, we didn't have all the magazines for a particular year, right? So threw that one out. So then what we did was the grouping was probably not a bad idea. So then we grouped them. So for example, there's a Michael Jackson lot, there's a Whitney Houston lot, so that's the way we did it. And Debbie and I spent some time sorting them out. And then what we had left over after we did what we thought would be celebrity lots that might sell, we then took the rest of them and put them in bulk lots, grouped them by year. That's wild, I just heard a gunshot. Grouped them by year, and then put them in boxes, weighed them, and then that's the way we sold those. So I got to feed the barn cats, and we'll catch up here in just a bit. So barn cats have been fed. Looks like it's going to be a good morning. Sun's coming up over the trees, and we're going to head back to the eBay office. We didn't get all of the magazines done. We got a good portion of them done. I think I've got a few more just to wrap up today. Then we can say we're done with that and move on with the rest of the inventory we need to get listed. The reason I jumped on those magazines so quickly, and we normally don't jump on stuff that quickly when we bring it back from an auction, but they are just paper after all. And I couldn't very well just leave them laying around being paper. So I needed to get them into some kind of plastic, and if I'm going to handle them, to sort them and put them in plastic to protect them, well, then at that point I might as well list them, right? I don't want to touch them more than once or twice or 3 times, I guess. Depends on how you want to look at that. I need to get a cup of coffee in me, I know that. So we're going to get that going and then move on to the next thing. Got that coffee working. But what's not working is dehumidifier. It needs to be emptied. It's a daily task, sometimes twice a day. We pull a lot of humidity out of this room, but I got to show you something. When you look at the window, you kind of get an idea where that humidity's coming from. I think we live in a tropical rainforest. It's not extremely hot though right now. It's like 50 degrees outside, but that whole temperature change just draws the moisture out of stuff. So let's dump this guy. So the dehumidifier is back to dehumidifying, which is what it should be doing. We had one thing sell in the store overnight while we were sleeping, and it was the Brian Setzer Orchestra, The Dirty Boogie. The Dirty Boogie! Which is number 89. And if we go over here to our CD catalog, see this one says 73 to 89. That would put 89 as the last one. Look at that. Love it when a plan comes together.
I love it when a plan comes together.
All right, we'll get that packaged up. And it's going out to Blake in Houston, Texas. So Blake, thank you. Why am I grabbing that? Those are the magazines. This is the size box we're putting the magazines in, by the way. And this one weighs in at 5 pounds. So the shipping cost is going to be a little high on it, but if you like those kind of magazines, you can get a whole bunch of them. We're going to have those grouped together, and I'll finish that up today, which is a good thing. Back to Brian. Got to get Brian Setzer done. So let's get that packaged up and to Blake in Houston. This is our trusty CD box. Let's turn off the air conditioner. It's 50 degrees outside. I don't even know why that thing's still running. It's got a temperature sensor on it, a little thermostat. You'd think it would know what the temperature is. Yeah, because it's 67 degrees in here. Who knows what I have that thing set at?
Who keeps turning the thermostat down?
So, anyway, let's get Brian all packaged up. If you notice, I like to go through there and break all the seams just to make it easier for when it's time to seal this thing up. Who else has a problem with those things? They stick to everything, don't they?
Dude, seriously? Static cling?
See? They don't come off. All right, got that. Put a thank you card on it. Oh, by the way, on the back side of our thank you card, I don't know if I pointed this out to you guys before, but there's a little QR code on the back side. That takes you to the eBay store. So if you forgot where you bought it, we give you a link to get you back to where you came from. Pack list goes on there. Little packing slip. And again, packing slip has 35% off. So that's a cool thing. And that promo runs through the end of the year, the 35% off. I believe it does have a limit. I mean, you're not going to go out there and find a $100 item and get 35% off. I want to say our limit's $30, I think, is the top line limit. So if it's $30 or less, you get 35% off.
Copy that, 35%.
So this guy weighed in at 5 ounces, getting the label on him, going out to Blake in Houston, Texas, hitting the mail today. So I gotta have that coffee, and then we're gonna delist 10 items this morning, and then sell similar 10 items this morning. I have had a couple questions about delisting and relisting, so it's not necessarily relisting the item, it is selling similar the item. The objective there is to make it fresh, right? So if we were just merely relisting it, it would have its same status in the database on eBay. It would have the same look, feel, headline, all that stuff.
Identical.
And the goal is, if it's been sitting in the store for a while, is to freshen it up, make it look appealing, try to figure out why it hasn't sold. So in a lot of cases, that's the price. It's either too high, in some cases, it can be too low. I think people perceive something being priced under value as maybe not being of quality. So if it is of quality, the price needs to be at market value. So anyway, we revisit all that stuff. We delist 10 items, 10 oldest items, and then we sell similar of those 10 items. But I wanted to walk you through real quick. Hop over here to the eBay store, and you can see kind of what we did yesterday. Actually, while I'm scrolling through this, we do sell a little bit of everything, as you can see from these categories here. And if I scroll on down here, you'll also see that we do buy one, get one free on our media stuff. So VHS movies, CDs, DVDs, 45s, albums. It is a buy one, get one free. A lot of people don't realize that, and they'll go out and buy one item. We've got enough stuff in the store that surely you can find something that you want for free out of that category when you buy something from that category. Just dropping that out there again, that it is there. So these magazines, wanted to show you how we group those up. And we'll just kind of run through the store. So this is that box I just held up a minute ago when I was putting together the Brian Setzer CD. It has 14 magazines in it, and they're just random people, us, InTouch magazines from 2007 to 2013. It was kind of just, what do I got that adds up that fits in the box? And so that was the first one we listed. As you can see here, we did a Jennifer Garner listing. It's 3 magazines from 2015 to 2016. We did an Angelina Jolie People magazine grouping, all people on those. All people for the Blake Shelton grouping of 3 magazines. Jennifer Aniston covers. There are 5 in that lot from People and Us Weekly. And then we got a Whitney Houston Tribute magazine lot. There's 4 magazines in there. 2 Essence, 1 People, and 1 Us Weekly. Now, we also did a Whitney Houston thing with Ebony. We grouped those together as well because we had enough on the Ebony side to do a separate listing for that. Here are the Obamas with People magazine. There's 4. We did the Kennedys, JFK, Jackie Jr., Carolyn, all the famous Kennedys. 4 magazines, People, and then you can see there we have a Royal lot. The funny thing about the Royal lot, there's 8 magazines there, and when Debbie and I were going through, I mean, we must have sifted through those magazines like 4 or 5 times, and I had already taken the shots and posted the listing for the Royals, but there were only 6 magazines in that listing, and literally we were going back through trying to pull some other groups together and found 2 more magazines. So I had to go out and edit the listing, change it to 8, add some more photos, and I actually had to undo it because when we group them together, we put them in a, here, I'll show you real quick. Stand by.
Okay, stand by. He's working on it up here.
So, when we put them together, we put them together in, we wrap them up in plastic. Again, this is what I'm saying. I don't want paper just sitting around where, you know, I could spill this on it, right? And then it'd be worthless. I don't want them to get ripped. I don't want dust all over them. So these go into a plastic bin. That's where I store these. I store them flat so that they don't get all crinkled. And they're cataloged, right? So up here in the top corner, you can see that it's got a catalog number on it. It says People 2, and then right below that, it says 3.6. The 3.6 is the weight. So when I'm taking photos of these, that's when I bulk them up and put them in the plastic. And that 3.6, which is 3 pounds, 6 ounces, helps me in writing the listing and getting the weight for shipping and all that stuff right. Because I don't have these sitting next to me when I'm doing the listing itself. But anyway, I had these all packaged up in their little plastic like this with 6 magazines in it. And Debbie and I discovered that there were 2 more Royal magazines. So I had to rip this apart, which isn't fun. I mean, if you're buying it, it's no big deal. You grab it and you just tear it open. But, you know, I had to put that on there. So then I had to take it off again. No, that needs to go back. Let me put this back in the plastic bin before I forget about it.
Hello?
He's just leaving.
Who?
Alrighty, got that back in the bin. So the goal today is to go through the rest of the magazines. And actually, there's no sorting involved any longer. There's no more going through and looking at the titles and seeing what celebrities what and trying to figure out who gets grouped with what. There really aren't that many left after we did all the groupings, because there are quite a few listings that we've grouped together by one particular celebrity, right? You'll find a Samuel L. Jackson grouping out there. So it's, you know, whomever you're a fan of, right? There should be a grouping. Now, there are magazines here that have celebrities on the cover, but we couldn't find more than one, and I don't think they're worth a lot to sell as just one. So we're going to group them up, and you can see here on the shelf, there aren't that many left. And there's some down here by our CB radio that we haven't listed yet or cleaned up. Anyway, we're going to get those taken care of today and get them out of the mix. Get them boxed up and weighed. There's Brooke Shields.
Hello, Brooke Shields.
And would you believe we only have one of these with Brooke Shields on the cover? It's, I can tell you that we found 2 or 3 with Britney Spears on the cover, but I really didn't think that would be a thing, that people would just, I don't know. She may have lost her flame a little bit.
Britney Spears has been spotted camping in the Colorado mountains.
That's just me. Anyway, we'll get those wrapped up today and get those up there. Oh, yesterday, I forgot to tell you guys this. Yesterday, I ran to an auction that wasn't too far from here. I spent a whopping $6. And I picked up this little boombox. These things sell pretty well for us. And you know, it's always a gamble on whether or not they're working or not. And it even has the lot number still on it. And in the bag attached to the handle is another radio.
2 radios with fresh batteries.
We take a risk with those because, you know, they're either working or not working. And then I have to try to see if I can get it to work if it's not working. But this particular one, when I went to the auction to pick it up, the owner of the radio was at the estate, was at the house. And I'm grabbing this thing, and she comes out and she goes, "You're going to love that radio. It sat by me every day when I worked. It kept me company." And she swears it still works. So we'll plug that in, and I'll get back with you on whether or not she was just mysteriously listening to music that wasn't coming from the radio.
You hear any music?
Maybe, or if the radio actually works. The other thing I picked up at that auction was this wash bowl and pitcher. Let going to do a little research on that. Again, 2 radios and that washball and pitcher, $6. I really couldn't turn that down. Again, at that auction, I bid on close to, it's crazy. Okay, so I bid on like $300, $400 worth of stuff, right? And I set a limit because I know how much margin, how much risk I want to take in it. And some of these things are long tails, right? Like the magazines themselves, they're going to sit in that bin, I know, for quite some time. And that's why they need to be wrapped in plastic and sitting in a storage bin. They're going to take a long time to sell. And likewise, radios sell quickly, so that's why I'm always quick to get those and pick those up if they work. But that pitcher and basin, it likely could sit in a store for a bit. So that's why I set limits. So I may bid a lot of money, but if I get outbid, somebody wants it, I've said it before, they can have it, because I'm not going to go crazy and take a risk on something that's just going to sit around at my place and collect dust. Because the last thing I want is to see an auctioneer in my driveway trying to get rid of the stuff that I picked up at auction. Anyway, back to work. Hey, Will, good morning. I realized day 3, different hat, different shirt, different day. And I realized also that I didn't close out yesterday's show. It's kind of crazy. Things got out of hand. You see, I've left tape measures laying around because I was measuring boxes. What happened was I took a page out of Debbie's playbook and we had some bins show up. I ordered bins for this room because I loved what she was doing inside in the eBay storage room with bins. And things were getting a little out of hand out here on the shelves, so I decided to go this route. It makes more sense. I know a lot of people do this, but I was just doing things haphazardly out here as well in there for a long time, 20 some years. I mean, I kept things in flats like this and little bins and things like that, but this is going to be so much easier to find things, especially the little things. We haven't lost anything, so that's good news. Not for long. I mean, no more than a few hours. What else happened yesterday that I didn't close out with you? Because I am going to say goodbye to you on this video here in a second. But, we finished up all the magazines yesterday. Got them all listed and all bundled out. We'll go over that in greater detail in the future. We did some Essence magazines yesterday and wrapped up all those people's. And I think that brings you up to speed. So, hey, I want to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.